Today I'm going to be showing you guys 30 easy doodles to fill your sketchbook with. These are all really simple and easy. You can do pretty much all of them without any skill. I have a lot of just little doodles and then a couple banner kind of things that you can outline your page with or use as like an underline for words and titles, and you can use them for whatever. You can be creative. So I have like 5 of those at the end of the video, and then the rest is just little pictures and doodles that I have enjoyed using in my own sketchbooks, notebooks, planners, and a lot more. In this video I'm going to be using a Pigma Micron. It's a 08 nib and it's just plain black. My first doodle that I'm going to show you is a boho rainbow kind of feel. Start by doing one small arc and then doing a bigger arc over it. Finishing off with a third arc over that one. And honestly, you don't have to finish with it. You can keep going and create as many arcs as you would like. I'm going to stop at 3. Next, I'm going to show you a mushroom. I'm actually going to draw a few different mushrooms. I will show you 2 of them. The first one, you just start off with an arc like the rainbow, and then you're going to connect the 2 ends. You're going to end up with this rounded half circle kind of shape. And then all we have left to do is make the stem, and these can be as weird and whack as you'd like. Curvy, thick, tiny, whatever you want. And then the last step to this is completely optional. I like to add little polka dots to my mushroom. The second mushroom I'm showing you is basically the same thing, except you do a very long, like you stretched a semicircle, and then you add your stem and you're completely done. Unless you would like to add some texture, which I did. I just added some lines, you'll see. And that is just a tall mushroom. It's the same thing except you stretch the semicircle to be a lot taller. The next doodle I'm showing you is a bouquet of flowers, and I like to do 3 or 4, but it's totally up to you. Start by doing a little squiggly, kind of like an S, and then I do 5 simple little petals. They're just like teardrop or oval shape, but you can do it as you want to. And then I add a little branch off and do another one, and another branch and do another. And I just keep going until I'm satisfied, and I add little leaves on sometimes when I'd like to. And these are just little ovals onto the branches. It's very simple to add leaves. Another flower idea you can do is just by adding loose flowers over the page. This is a great way to get rid of all that awkward spacing in your notebooks and sketchbooks and just fill the space up with some pretty simple little designs. Next, I'm going to show you how to do a peace sign. Now, I was out of it today and I did not do it correct, so please forgive that. But I started off with just a circle, and then I went halfway down the circle, but you're supposed to draw the line all the way down. And then branch it off into 2 separate parts. So I did it right, except the vertical line should be going straight up and down all the way through the circle. My bad. Now we're gonna do a yin and yang, and you'll start off with a circle and then do like an S inside of it, just splitting it off into 2 equal parts. And then inside each of those parts, you're gonna draw a circle on each side. And then you can color in one of the circles. And then on the other side where you didn't color in a circle, color in the space around it, so they're opposites. This next doodle is super easy, you cannot go wrong. They're just little swirls, and just like the flowers, they're easy to fill up awkward space that you don't know what to do with. This next one is a little weird, but I think it's quite cute. Start with 2 lines and then connecting them at a tip for your lid, and then connecting them at the other end and putting a little eraser on the end. This just makes a small little pencil. And I'll do it again for you. If you can't see, I'm sorry. I was not completely in the frame, so it almost cut off. But once again, just basically do a rectangle, create a little triangle at your end, color in some lead, and then on the other end, put a little square eraser. Now a variation of this is a pen. Pretty much the same concept. Do your little stretched semicircle, kind of like the mushroom. Connect at the ends, and then do your 2 lines down as if you were doing a pencil, and then connect the end. And then you can create your little, I don't really know what they're called, but like the hook things off on that are connected to the pen lid. That's completely optional, and you can make your pen however you'd like, but this is how I made it. Now for my favorite doodle, it's a little strange. It's a little clock, but it's super cute and simple. Start by drawing a circle, and then pretend, this is gonna sound weird, but pretend like it's a head and you're drawing headphones on the head, and you'll see what I mean in a second. You can do this by drawing 2 semicircles on either side of your so-called head or circle, and then connecting them on the top. I like to put a little L in there, just a simple little time thing. It's just an L, so if you don't know what to do, you can do an L. And then I add 2 little legs on the bottom. Now please forgive me, I forgot to zoom out, so you'll see some faces on the paper now. My next doodle that I showed you when I was out of the screen was a face, just draw silly faces, and I have drawn these. It's just a character that I have made, and his name is Jeffrey, and I love him. But yeah, so sorry I forgot to show you guys, but I also made another clock too, so you can look at that. But yeah, the doodle that you missed was draw a face on your paper. And you can draw silly or serious or happy or sad or whatever. You can make your own weird faces. Just have fun with it. Moving on is a bee. This one's so fun and I love it so much. Start with like a little oval kind of shape, and then you can add some wings, and these can be different shapes. Just be creative with it. I also added some stripes and a little stinger on the end. And then last is the antennas, and I did straight ones with curves on the end. And then I have also drawn over here another one. This one is a little bit more, I don't want to say realistic looking, but it was a different kind of style, and I curved the antennas a lot more. Next, draw a very long oval shape. This is going to be a butterfly. Do your wings. I like to do big wings. And these weren't as big actually, but that's just fine. And then you can add some stripes or some texture to your little butterfly body, and then add some antennas. I like to do really curly ones on the end of my butterflies. And then I added some designs of wings of my butterfly as well. Another insect doodle that I'm going to show you is a dragonfly. Start with an oval shape again, and then 2 skinny wings at the top of your dragonfly. You can add some texture to the body if you'd like. And on my dragonflies, I like to add 2 straight antennas. Sometimes I add little dots on the ends as well. Okay, I think this is the last insect doodle. Forgive me if it's not, but I hope you guys like them. I'm doing this one on top of words just because I think it's really cute. It's a caterpillar So you can start with a squiggly line. I like to fit it to the curves of the letters and words. And then connect it on the end with another squiggly. I like to add a whole bunch of little legs on the end, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. And then I also added some antennas along with a derpy face. Now I'm going to do a leaf. Start by doing a squiggly line and then connecting the bottom to the top. Start with the top going down to the bottom. The top should be skinny and then the bottom thick. It'll go to a point at the top, and you can see what I've done here. And then I like to add veins, and it just adds a little bit of fun texture to the leaf. For another leaf, you can do a straight line or curved. I'm doing a curved. Add a little oval on top, 2 on the sides, and then another 2 on the other side, and then another 2, and you just keep going down. You can't see right now, but I'll move my hand in a second. And then you'll have your leaf, and that was pretty ugly on my part, but I'm sure you can do way better. For my last leaf that I'm going to show you, or hopefully it's the last one, I don't know, you'll do another squiggly with an oval on top, and then 2 on each side, like how I've done here. Then you can add like a bubble kind of feel over your leaves, and I don't really know what kind of leaf this is, or if it is even a leaf, but it's a fun little cartoony leaf. And now I'm gonna draw a pretty skiwampus cactus for you. It's pretty self-explanatory. I like to add little spines in it. You can do this by small little lines or dots. Sorry, it's very bad, but I'll do another one. So yeah, they're pretty self-explanatory. If it's kind of confusing, I'm sorry. My best explaining it isn't very good. I would say it's just a long, skinny oval with some curved ovals coming off of it. Another cactus that I love to do is you just start off with a circle and then do another circle on one side with another circle on top of that one. And then on the other side of our first biggest circle, we'll do another. And on top of that one, you can do a small flower if you'd like. Then I like to add little dots in all of these, or lines, but I like to do dots on these ones. You can make it your own and be as creative as you would like with this one. And with all of them. Be creative with all of them. Now I'm going through and just adding some hearts everywhere. This is just like the swirls and flowers, just a good space taker, space absorber. It's like salt, but instead of absorbing water and liquids, it's absorbing your weird blank space. Now I'm going in and adding circles. This is a great one for covering up big space that is empty and you don't know what to add. Very simple. I like to make it a little bit more interesting by overlapping. You can shade them in, color them in, leave them open. Whatever suits you and the page you're working on. Now this next one is the Eiffel Tower. It ended up being pretty bad. I'm kind of bad at drawing the Eiffel Tower, but if you're good at it, it's great. I like doing these in corners and just on bottom corners just because they're great sitting there and being awesome. But I like to start at the top, and I'm just kind of making this up as I go. I have a metal earth Eiffel Tower that I'm kind of going off of, but it's pretty much just me. Also, it's very skiwampus, but we can ignore that, right? Hopefully. I'm sure yours will end up much better than how mine did in this video, but it's pretty simple. Just keep adding triangles and shapes and such. When I'm done doing the basic shapes, I'll go in, I'll just kind of cross hatch it all, fill it in with that cool texture. At this point, I was kind of just giving up on my Eiffel Tower, so I did not shade it in and do some cool texture how I thought I would. It's pretty lame old potato if you ask me. I'm sure yours will end up much better than mine when you try this out. Now the lighting is much better, it got too dark, but I am going to start swirls, and this is a really good idea to do in your sketchbook or notebook when you want to fill up a huge space. Now I'm switching over to a magic marker. I don't really know what it's called. It has magic on it. The rest is in Japanese just because it's a Japanese brand marker, and it works way better. The great thing about it, why it's called magic, is because it dries in like 0.5 seconds, so it won't smear. So I love it, it's great, and a nice fine tip. So I'm just using that from now on. Sorry I had to switch. My Pigma Micron did not want to last that long throughout the video, but that's fine. So yeah, it's very infinite. It's very forgiving too. Like you can make a mistake and cover it up with more swirls and make it go on for as long as you'd like, make it as big as you want. Now I'm just going to go on to the dividers, is what I like to call it, and what I will continue to call it throughout this video. This first one is super cute and easy and simple. I use this a lot on my thumbnails. It's just a straight line with I like to put 2 circles on the ends, fill them in or don't, depending on how I feel, and then 2 slanted lines in the middle. Another variation of this would be to do the same thing, it's just a curved line. Now stepping away from the dividers, I'm going to do something along the bottom of my paper. I like to do this on the side of my paper too, and I have 2 examples to show you after I show you the doodle itself. Start by doing a whole bunch of vertical lines, big and small. You can make it symmetrical like how I'm doing, and you can see how the swirls and the Eiffel Tower kind of got in my way. You can do them as close or as far apart as you'd like. Once you have all your lines, you can start adding flowers to the ends of them, and I also like to add leaves sometimes. Now this is an example of flowers that I've done along the sides. For my alcohol markers, I have this swatch chart. I made this one digitally, and you can see how I used this doodle along the sides to fill in extra space. And my second example is for my Prismacolors. I have the 48 pack and I wanted a swatch chart for this as well, and so I used this design along the bottom to fill in that space too. Now moving back over to the dividers, start with a squiggly line, and then I'm going to add berries and leaves to this one. It's pretty hard to tell the difference. I could have done a better job with this, but my berries are more round, and my leaf kind of things, I don't know if they really are leaves, but they're more ovally. And I ended up kind of coloring those in a little bit so that you could tell the difference and you had a little bit better variety. And then I just made it more full, went back over it a couple of times, filling in weird places. Now I'm doing the same thing, just making a squiggly line. This time I'm going to do a floral one. I just start with branches going off and adding my little flowers. They're just my simple flowers again. And then I like to add leaves along with it. And that's all there is to that one. Now I've turned the paper sideways to do my second one. This is good for Valentine's Day themed papers and such. Just start with a row of heart shapes, and then I like to do this without turning my paper upside down, but I will demonstrate by turning it upside down so you can see what I'm doing better. You're just fitting more hearts into the spaces in between each heart. I'm going to go on right side up now, just because I'm faster and better at it that way. And this one's great for adding on really all of these. Most of these dividers you can keep adding on to and make them as long as you'd like. And then the last divider is a long rectangle filled with triangles. And I just continue to do triangles throughout the whole thing, and then I like to color every other one in sometimes, depending on how I feel and what I'm doing with my paper. Now for my last doodle, it's a hot air balloon. You might be able to see the outline I had to do beforehand, but start with a semicircle kind of idea. And then funnel off into this very skinny end. Connect the two ends, and then you can create some lines and draw a little basket. I'm going to zoom in so you can see a little bit better because it's so small. Then I just added some texture to my basket, and then you can add whatever design you'd like to your balloon. I'm just doing basic little stripes in mine. And then I like to add crosshatch shading sometimes, so that's what I did with this one. Now if you're looking for a basic little background to put with it, I like to do clouds. My clouds with this one has fluffy tops and a straight bottom. And then I did a sun. Now I'm going to show you guys 4 different suns I like to do just as a little bonus, I guess. And while that's going, we want to just thank you guys so much for watching our videos. Your views are helping us move forward. A new channel is always hard, and we appreciate every view and subscriber. So please subscribe and please hit that like button. And if you have any video ideas for us, you can always tell us in the comments below. And we have a very short list of ideas, so it won't be any problem at all to add that on. Anyway, thank you so much for watching again. We appreciate you so much. And please spread the word of our new channel. And just remember, we post every Friday, so we'll see you next week, hopefully.